Don't you dare compare a clumsy sentence to guerrilla imagery. Don't you dare. One is rooted in centuries of racial dehumanization. The other was a politician talking about dyslexia. If you cannot tell the difference, then that's a you problem.
I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you. I'm like you. I'm no better than you. I'm a 960 SAT guy. and I'm not trying to offend anyone, trying to act all there if you got 940. But literally a 960 SAT guy. I cannot, you've never seen me read a speech because I cannot read a speech.
We are not going to pretend that those two things live in the same moral universe. We just ain't going to do it because they don't. Comparing Gavin Newsom fumbling through a comment about his learning struggles to racist imagery historically used against Black people, Barack Obama specifically, is not serious. It's not thoughtful, and it's not about protecting Black people, okay? It's about politics. What did he actually say? He was on a book tour. He was talking about overcoming dyslexia. He was explaining that he doesn't always read from scripts. He was talking about struggle, about imperfection, about not being the polished academic stereotype people assume that he is. That's it. Somehow that became racist. How? Because somebody clipped a moment, stripped it of tone, stripped it of context, and then framed it as condescending to a Black audience. That's not analysis, that's strategy. And here's what bothers me the most. The same people who barely blinked an eye when they saw that guerrilla image on the Obamas years ago and lately suddenly discover deep concern for Black dignity when it comes to Gavin Newsom. Where was the outrage when Obama was compared to a monkey back then? When memes circulated that leaned into centuries of dehumanization propaganda, all them signs outside the White House, just people just trolling Obama. That imagery was not subtle at all. It wasn't misunderstood. It wasn't a misunderstood tone. It was a deliberate symbolism tied to slavery, segregation, pseudoscience used to justify treating Black people as less than human. That is racism. You don't get to take that history and flatten it into, well, this kind of awkward comment feels the same. No, it don't. And the attempt to make it similar is insulting. Let me say something clearly. Black people are not fragile. We are not snowflakes. We are not waiting around to be offended by every imperfect sentence. If something is racist, we know it, we feel it, we'll say it. We'll tell you to your face. And what he said, that was not it. Was it perfectly phrased? No. Should politicians choose their words carefully, especially in mixed crowds? Yes. But clumsy is not racist. Vulnerable is not racist. Imperfect delivery is not racist. You know what this really is? This is early framing for the 2028 election. We all grown adults here, okay? When a governor with national ambition starts touring the country, opposition research starts early. You look for tone, you look for moments, you look for 5-second clips that can be repackaged. You don't attack the dyslexia story, you attack the vibe. You plant a seed, elitist, racist, condescending, talking down to Black people. That's what you're trying to do. You repeat it enough times and hope it sticks. That's politics. I get it. Don't drag Black history into it to make it heavier than what it is. That's where the lines get crossed. That's when we part ways. Because when you equate a messy sentence with imagery historically used to justify violence against Black people, you trivialize real racism. You water it down, you thin it out. And when you water it down, you make it harder to call out the real thing. Because that's half y'all problem right now. Every time somebody turn around, you racist, you racist, you racist, you guys become numb to it when you see it. That's dangerous. And here's another uncomfortable truth. Some conservatives only seem outraged on behalf of Black Americans when it helps them attack Democrats. That outrage disappears when the conversation shifts to voting rights, right? Housing disparities, right? health gaps, right? Or criminal justice reform, right? Where's your outrage then? Suddenly the concern fades, goes into the background. So forgive me, spare me if the timing feels convenient. Forgive me if this feels less like protection and more like positioning, because that's what it looks like from here. And let's talk about the agency. Stop telling Black folks how we're supposed to feel. Stop it. Stop deciding for us what crosses the line and what don't. Stop it. If it crosses the line, we'll tell you. Oh, we don't have no problem. Specifically, HQ don't have no problem. We don't need translators for our outrage. We don't need moral referees deciding what insults us and what don't. We understand tone. We understand context. We understand his intent. We can tell the difference between someone talking about their learning disability and somebody engaging in dehumanization symbolism. Those are different angles. Those are different categories, different weight, different history. You cannot collapse them into one emotional response just because it's politically useful. And here's the bigger issue, right? When everything becomes a scandal, nothing becomes a scandal. Nothing becomes meaningful. When every awkward phrase is treated like racism or a civil rights violation, you dull that blade. You make the word racist lose its impact. And when a real incident happens, people are numb to it, like they're trying to be numb to it now. That don't help Black people. It helps outrage cycles. And outrage cycles are profitable. Clicks, shares, engagement, talking points. But they don't move policy. They don't fix schools. They don't lower costs. They don't address systematic inequalities, do it. They just create noise. If you want to criticize Gavin Newsom, criticize his policies, criticize California's homelessness, criticize crime trends, criticize tax structure. That's fair game. But don't invent racial insult where there ain't none. That's lazy politics, and Black people are not stupid. We see when we're being used as rhetorical leverage. We see when outrage is selective. We see when history is being pulled in as an emotional ammunition. We can say, no, that's not it. That's what this moment is. This is not a moral crisis. This is not racial dehumanization. This is a clip being stretched beyond its meaning for political advantage by the right. And we're not buying it. We're not going for it. Call out real racism when it shows up, okay? Call out your president for posting that gorilla pic. Stand on it. But don't dilute the term to score points, because once you dilute it, it doesn't carry the same force when we actually need it. That's the difference. And that's why this comparison fails. Not because we blind, not because we're partisan, but because we understand history and we understand context, and we're capable of deciding what offends us. Don't tell me what offends me. No one gets to do that except people like me.